All right, latest configuration for power, generating a decent three-phase power source, 223 phase for the TDE transmitter. So instead of driving the motor directly with a static converter with running caps, starting caps and two running caps, could not get balancing done that well. Function seemed to be fine, but voltages and currents, changed quite a bit. So then it was assumed that using the more conventional rotary converter would be the better way to power this. So using a static converter, changed the cap values, start and run caps quite a bit, to match up with a 3 horsepower motor. And once the 3 horsepower motor is up and running, it generates the ghost third phase with its C phase running as a generator. Anyhow, I have noticed an improvement. The voltage is much more stable, but the load currents still seem out. But anyhow, the procedure is to power on the 220 single phase. I've got a buck transformer here because our 220 here runs to almost 250, 248. So I have this transformer bucking the 240 in series, out of phase with 13 volts from this transformer, and then I end up with 217 volts driving the converter. Anyhow, we power this up, and the very quiet Marathon Blue Max 3 horsepower motor comes up, and this is a gem of a motor that we got from Facebook Marketplace in Sacramento, and bought it sight unseen, but pretty sure of the motor condition, and it was pulled from a relatively new piece of equipment. Listen how quiet that thing is. Of course, it's 1800 RPM, but even running off the static converter, it's doing just great. And in turn, back on the radio now, it thinks it has a conventional 220 three-phase source. We hit our start button, and we'll start up the contactor and the motor generator and the transmitter. And she comes right up. I've got the 2 kV set at 1500. Once it warms up, it'll kick up another couple hundred volts. Filaments, 10 volts, and we are in AM, low power. Monitor on local receiver, carbon mic, audio 1 2 3 4 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, and that's with the motor converter power. Or we can switch to CW. Actually, we can switch to modulated CW. Turn that off. The modulated CW, and the keying oscillator will key the transmitter in AM mode. And then to go conventional CW, we'll go over this direction, turn on the BFO. And the keying doesn't sound that bad on it. No real bad chirp, a little bit of frequency drift, but no, it looks like, at least down here on 80 meters, runs pretty good. And the shutdown sequence is the same as it normally would be. And we've got the radio set up with everything stock now. No mods inside to make it run. Power down with your stop button. Run down the MG set. And then kill your supply to the rotary converter. And that's it. So we have some packaging to do for the rotary converter setup. I'll get a nice big chassis, put all that in, some controls and lights, and I think that's about it for what we're going to do with that. The next chore will be to see if I can find some kind of wrenches that'll reach in to get down to the mounting bolts for the MG set. As it is, I managed to get all of the holes lined up once we put all 130 pounds of it in here, but unfortunately the case of the motor control unit won't close all the way. It'll brush up against the motor leads. The motor needs to go back about 3/4 of an inch, but it's not that easy of a chore. You can see 2 of the bolts here. The other 2 are hidden behind. No way to see them. Might be able to get a, yeah, if I cut down a typical 1/2 inch wrench, open end wrench, maybe I can get in there. So still lots more nuts and bolts work.